The Blades Ramble is proudly sponsored by My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. Contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk for more information or follow the link in the description below.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I'm, of course, Jimmy, and this is 10-minute transfers, and we're here to discuss Sydie Peck. Sydie Peck. So, what do we think about the potential? And this is all it is, obviously. And there's a couple of bits I want to talk to you about today about Sydie, because he's linked with a move to West Ham. And there's a couple of places that have linked him with this move. First of all, our friends at Football League World, go and check out the original source. This is just an excerpt from it. It says that Graham Potter is looking, obviously West Ham manager, he's looking at a number of second-tier players this summer, Peck being one of them. According to The Guardian, the Englishman is one of the midfielders that the London-based side are looking at. The 20-year-old had a breakthrough season last time out with the Blades, filling the position that Ollie Arblaster held before he picked up a season-ending knee injury in the first Steel City derby of the season against Sheffield Wednesday. He is reportedly being targeted by Brighton and Hove Albion. So that is the article about Peck. The Brighton and Hove Albion bit was about Arblaster, obviously. I'm not sure if everybody read that as cleanly, but The Guardian, where it mentions here that, according to The Guardian, Peck is one of the midfielders. That is the smallest excerpt you'll see. That is the smallest mention you'll see. And it is a long article in The Guardian, because I went and checked the original source, and it lists every Premier League club, and it does about 10 lines on players and positions that they are looking to strengthen this summer, which is great. And it's a really strong original article. I think you should go over and have a look at it again. But the bit about Sydie Peck was, West Ham need more legs and youth in midfield and have scouted Sunderland's Chris Rigg, which I don't think they'll get now, because obviously Sunderland in the Premier League. Obviously, they've just sold Joe Bellingham, so it's not out of the question. But Chris Rigg, unlikely to leave Sunderland. Sheffield United, Sydie Peck, and Middlesbrough's Hayden Hackney. So that is the only link that's come from anywhere linking Sydie to West Ham. I do expect the Sydie rumours to rumble on throughout the summer, because I think he will be sought after, particularly clubs like West Ham, London-based. We've talked about this before. He's a London boy. I think his agent is very active, from what I understand, or what I imagine, what I understand. The other article I wanted to link back was Footboom, who were just sort of elaborating a little bit on what was originally said about Peck potentially leaving. And again, go and check out the article in its entirety. But in just 1 year, Sydie Peck has transformed from a peripheral figure at Sheffield United to a key player, attracting Premier League interest. Once considered for a loan to Rotherham United, which he was at the beginning of the season, that's very true, the 20-year-old midfielder has now made 47 appearances for the Blades and scored for England's youth teams. His progress has caught the attention of West Ham United, with manager Graham Potter reportedly keen to boost his midfield options. West Ham's interest in Peck, alongside Middlesbrough's Hayden Hackney, underscores their search for fresh energy in midfield. Some Sheffield United supporters speculate that Peck's London roots might influence a potential move to the capital. So Peck will be sought after this summer. That has come, as I say, from that small little grain of information in The Guardian, to be found in a much bigger article. But I do believe that there'll be merit to it, and I do believe that he will have admirers, as we've talked about. What I want to do now, though, is firstly ask you the question: what would you want to take for Sydie if we do have to sell him? Because I said on a stream yesterday that I would want to take around 20 million with add-ons, but I think we're looking more at around 15 million, if I'm honest, with add-ons. I don't think he'll play if he goes to the Premier League, if I'm honest. I don't think necessarily he plays if we've got all of our midfielders fit. And I think that's why it would sting a little bit less to lose Sydie than it would somebody like Michael Cooper or Harrison Burrows. And that's not because we don't love Sydie. We absolutely do love Sydie. But we've also got Vinny Souza currently at the club. We've got Gus Hamer, who can play in that 8 role alongside Vinny. We've got Tom Davis who can come in, but obviously we've got Ollie Arblaster, who was the holder of that position before Sydie Peck had to fill in through all his injury. So what I'm going to do is also circle back to a point that we've made previously when talking about transfers. Sydie Peck we signed from Arsenal, 150 grand when we were doing our buy them young before they're really known about, and we paid a fee. We paid 150 grand, as I say, for Sydie from Arsenal's youth ranks when he was 16, 17. 17 it'll have been, I think, because that's when you can become a professional, isn't it? So really interesting that FootMob, who we often refer to for our basic information on targets, this is obviously a player we're looking to hold on to, so slightly different. The basic information that FootMob give you is obviously the stats in terms of how many games they've played. He's played 42 matches this year, according to FootMob stats. He started in 32 of those. That's in the Championship. He's played nearly 3,000 minutes for Sheffield United. His rating is a 6.92 on FootMob. 6.92. Now that, for him not to break the sevens is interesting, for one. They're all subjective, these sort of markings out of 10. And it's whoever's scoring them, it's what criteria you're grading them on. But they should also be taken into consideration when we're looking at targets. So I've done previous, like a goalkeeper video I did about a week ago, and we looked at their overall ratings and stuff like that, but all the while noting that data doesn't always tell you the full picture. I don't think... Nobody could convince me that Sydie's not been a 7 out of 10 or higher this season. And again, that's subjective, but it just shows you that stats are not everything. They don't tell you everything you need to know. And not just that, going deeper than just the average rating that they've been given. You look at some of the statistics on the field. Successful dribbles, 15. Dribble success, 43%. So he's been tackled 57% of the time when he's tried to dribble. I don't see that with the naked eye, personally. And that doesn't mean it's not happening. That doesn't mean it's not a flaw in his game. It means there's other elements to his game that elevate him as a player. He's won 53% of his tackles. So, on the whole, he loses half of his tackles as well, if you want to spin it that way. So, what I'm saying is these stats that are out here sort of downgrade his participation and his involvement in our season, and don't really highlight how good he's been for Sheffield United. Certainly not on paper. But with the naked eye, what is Sydie Peck worth to us? Because FootMob, again, have been valued at €230,000. They only deal in euros, so call it 200 grand. That's not a fair reflection of what Sydie Peck is worth. We all know that. Sydie Peck is valued on transfer market at €7.5 million. €7.5 million. So roughly 7 million quid. I don't think that's too far away, but that's not the price to get him out of Sheffield United, is it? The price to get him out of Sheffield United will be double that, at least. I would be looking at 20 million. I think that's what we can hope in the absolute best case scenario. Would you be okay selling Sydie if it meant that we could keep hold of Gus, for example? I think it's more likely, and this is just an opinion, this is not insider knowledge, no insider knowledge here. I would prefer Sydie went if we kept hold of Gus. And that is a short-term way of looking at things, because I think we've got one, if we can keep Gus, I think we've got one season left of him in the Championship. So that is short-term, not thinking about the long-term, because I think Peck could go for more in the future. If we're a Premier League side and he's played, if we fast forward 12 months and Sydie Peck's played 40 games for us again, and we get promoted at the end of the season, I think he goes for a huge wedge. So that is the longer term value that you hold in them. But I honestly think I would be happier for Sydie to leave if it meant we didn't have to cash in on Michael Cooper. If we could then reject a £20 million bid for Michael Cooper. If it meant we could reject a £15 million bid for Gus Hamer because we've accepted 15 plus add-ons for Sydie. That's just my opinion. I'm keen to hear yours. We've got other videos coming up. The one I'm looking at tomorrow, which may well tie into this, is Cameron Brannigan. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Alison Limerick, that in it, where love lives. The Oxford United captain, 29, a little bit more experience in the ranks for Sheffield United, potentially, if he were to come in. Leicester and Stoke linked as well. We'll talk about him tomorrow. I think he's a really good signing. He's somebody we've looked at before. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. But I'm going to leave it there with Sydie. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your continued support on these videos. It's really appreciated. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blade!